Have you ever had to leave a job, a group, a club, a social circle, or even your own family circle just because you didn't fit in? Well, go and watch this video because it's for you. Maybe you struggle to find your calling in life. Anything and everything you try just kind of blows up in your face. Does this sound like you at all? This video's for you, so go ahead and stick around for the whole thing. I'd appreciate it. Some of you may have seen the quick update I put out just because I was going through a lot, and well, I still am. I do plan on starting again soon, so hopefully I will, but it's going to be at a much slower pace, reluctantly. I'm still feeling a little bit of the emotion. I think that's some of my best content when I just kind of let things out. Spoken to you about my job a few times, my current one. I am a behavior health tech or a BHT at a drug and alcohol rehab facility. It was great at first. I worked night shift, which is wrecking my health and one reason why I really need to leave. But once the clients went to bed, basically I could sit in a room by myself. But good things have to come to an end, right? Thank you, ESTJs, the buzzkills of the world, what we do without them. Now things have changed where I just have to sit and stare at a wall all day and sweat my ass off in the heat. Real productive, right? Not to mention, I was about to start school and I had ample time to create content for you to enjoy and for me to finish my degree. I only had like 11 classes of 33 credits left to get my bachelor's in psychology. Seems like every time I try to do it, something just happens and it never works out. So, yeah, just a little bit frustrated. But should I be? There's a lot of talk going around about this law of attraction stuff. I'm not sure if I'm completely sold on it myself, but basically, you can manifest the things you want with just your thoughts alone. Sounds a little too good to be true. I don't know about yours, but my life is kind of like Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong, and it does all the time, and it's really annoying. Has the law of attraction worked for you? Is your life like mine and everything goes wrong? Let me know in the comments. Well, INTJs are known for planning, and I indeed had a plan, but how far can a plan really go? How far out in life can you plan things? I just had somebody in the comments of the Aiden kid that I just interviewed, the INTJ, and he said that he's not an INTJ because he didn't have his life planned out after high school. Apparently, it's a prerequisite for INTJs to have your life completely planned out before you graduate school. I know I didn't. Did you? Let me know in the comments. I mean, I'm 39. I'm barely figuring things out. That is just stereotyping. Let's avoid that. Anyways, like I said, I was going to go back to school. I had 100% funding. That was a part of my plan. Basically, it's vocational rehab. I'm not sure if they have it in other states, but here in Arizona, it's through the Department of Economic Security. It's like a federally funded state program. So they were going to pay for my books and tuition, which is still not off the table, but get paid to do my homework like I was getting paid to make content here. But poof, it was gone in a moment, and it's extremely aggravating. Well, a new lead just started recently on my shift. He was there before, but he got promoted, and I'm not 100% convinced, but I'm pretty sure he's an ISTP. Could be an ISTJ, but I don't think so. Kind of has this little blood teardrop tattooed under his eye. I mean, again, not stereotype, but how many ISTJs do you see with a blood teardrop tattoo right there? Could happen, I guess. Well, you wouldn't label an ISTP as a snitch or an ass kisser, but boy, this guy is both. Trust me, it's bad. Anything he sees that's out of place, he goes and tells his ESTJ overlord. To make a long story short, he ruined a good thing for me and a lot of other pretty pissed off people as well. Before, I was kind of able to go off and hide, and now I have to deal with my coworkers, and well, I don't exactly fit in where I go. Kind of the whole point of this video, right? So he and a few ESTJs that are kind of in middle management and HR kind of made an example out of me to kind of show everybody that they're not playing around. Can't have fun at work, right? That would be just like a cardinal sin. Kind of seems like a reoccurring theme in my life that I'm just kind of a scapegoat everywhere I go, like family, school, just keeps happening over and over. Kind of wonder why that is. These changes aren't necessarily bad. I kind of see it as a good thing. One, like I said, night shift was wrecking my health. One of the best things I ever did in my life was get a consistent sleep schedule. And well, this job and a job before that kind of threw that out the window. I was way too comfortable there. While I was able to do things to help this channel grow, I wasn't able to really grow much as a person. Currently, I'm in a process of starting a new job. I have to wait. We are in a Saturn return. Speaking of Saturn return, I want to bring some metaphysical aspects back to this channel and talk about my birth chart a little bit. I do have another channel you can check out up here. It's called Astrotype. It's kind of ran dry already. Hope to kind of play around with it or maybe even combine this channel with it. It kind of seems that people aren't really open to the idea of astrology, even though Carl Jung was heavily into it. It makes typology look very, very basic, even the more advanced stuff like BB and socionics. Many of you might have heard of Mercury retrogrades. Actually, it's the last day of Mercury retrograde as I'm filming this now, and it's a horrible time to start jobs and sign contracts. I gotten fired twice for jobs, and both times was during a Mercury retrograde. Last year, I started a job during a Mercury retrograde, and it lasted one whole day. Yeah, I'm just not wiping teenagers' asses. And again, it was a miscommunication thing. Mercury's about communication, and they didn't tell me I was to wipe a teenager's ass. And homie, don't play that. Homie, don't play that. While we're on the concept of miscommunications, thought I was going to start at this organization where it was a prerequisite to be in recovery from substance abuse or mental health. During my interview, they asked what my history was with substance abuse and mental health, and I kind of told my story with avoidant personality disorder, extreme anxiety, being depressed basically my whole life, and possible autism, and they actually seemed touched, you know. They thanked me for being so open, but I don't know if I got the job. They haven't contacted me yet. They even gave me the onboarding paperwork and everything, so I figured I was going to get hired soon. I guess that is not a fair misconception to have. But anyway, I did get this job as a crisis mobile response. So basically, like if people are having a mental health breakdown, they become suicidal or maybe even homicidal, I'm the one that has to go and deal with it. Seems quite fitting for me. But anyways, like I said, I want to bring some metaphysical concepts and astrology back to this channel, so I'm going to share my birth chart real quick here. Well, this might look confusing, and that is because it actually is confusing. Like I said, if you actually give astrology a chance, it lets you know much more about yourself than typology. It's actually a pretty interesting tool. And me and Xeon, you may remember Xeon, he hasn't been on his channel in a while, but we've done numerous interviews with him. Did start Astrotype, which you can watch up here. And we're actually looking at the birth charts of people of different types, and we're starting to see some patterns, but things kind of happened, and yeah. Anyways, my first house, which is known as the ascendant or the rising sign, falls under Scorpio. Technically, it falls under Libra, but I have Saturn and Pluto there, I think, kind of pulling that ascendant over the Scorpio line. And even if it is a Libra ascendant, the Saturn and Scorpio definitely dominate my personality. Pluto, it pretty much means the same thing. So basically, the reoccurring theme of my life is I'm supposed to go through a lot of trouble and strife, trauma, and I'm supposed to be like a phoenix who rise out of the ashes and basically rebirth myself over and over. And I do change jobs quite a bit. I do kind of reinvent myself. So that's one reason why. And basically, Saturn, as I mentioned before, as ESTJs, it's kind of their theme. It's about limitation, restriction, rules, jail, security. There's security cameras all over the place where I work. It's also like it tests you. It's very patient. Saturn is father time. And if you pass these long, arduous, grueling tests, you're eventually rewarded. So basically, the first house is you, yourself, and I have Pluto here and Saturn kind of dominating it. And interesting things I've read about Saturn in the first house is it definitely has parallels of avoidant personality disorder and autism. You're very reluctant to talk about yourself and personal issues and opening up and communication in general. I don't want to go too deep into this. It's quincunx. My homie, don't play that. House in Gemini. I do have a video I did with Zion a long time ago when I first really started dabbling in astrology, reading my birth chart. You can watch that up here if you'd like. But anyways, your ascendant and rising sign is usually the strongest point in your birth chart. I think sun sign astrology just came popular like 100 years ago or so, and it kind of flipped, but I think the ascendant, at least in my case, is stronger than the sun sign. Another thing I want to mention about Saturn in the first house is that you may have a delayed or troubled birth. Like I was born a month late. My mom needed a C-section and they finally got me out. They say that you're in no hurry to come in this world because your life is just going to be so hard and difficult. So you're going to stay in your nice cozy womb as long as you can. Anyways, the point of me showing my birth chart here is just to demonstrate that we have struggles in life and we're meant to overcome these struggles and grow from them. So yeah, I'm kind of getting forced out of my job in a way. I could probably stay there, but I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy at any job I really worked at, but yeah, I need a lifestyle change. I'm also just doing that job so I can work on this and go to school, but that's gone now. I'd like to share a quote. When you're born into a world, where you don't fit in, it's because you're born to help create a new one, unknown. So, if you're like me and kind of fretting because you don't belong, don't sweat it. I really think that you may not really fit in with your family and friends or anybody really, but you need to carve your own niche out in life and kind of present it to the world and change the world. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the North and South Node in astrology, real quick. The North Node is kind of your life path, what you need to do to find fulfillment and kind of evolve your soul in this life. It's kind of evolutionary astrology, which is kind of the main thing I follow right now, is based on reincarnation. The North Node isn't exactly something that comes easy to you. It's something that you have to struggle and figure out in life. And the South Node is kind of like your comfort zone, kind of what you're good at, but it doesn't serve you. Kind of my South Node here is Sagittarius, the second house. That kind of means I like to gather knowledge and hoard it and keep it to myself. And I'm trying to use my Gemini North Node here in the eighth house and present it to the world through psychology, occultism, sexuality, things like that. If you like this content, let me know. If you want me to talk more about astrology, which I hope you do, I would love to. Let me know in the comments as well. If you want to hear me talk about more personal things on my channel, go ahead and watch this playlist right here. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.